finally on spring break. Been at school since January 17th, finally home for a couple days. I actually went and rode the Dragon a couple times this week and actually got some video of that. It's mostly on the fairing, so it's mostly just like Dragon D kind of stuff, so I'll put that right here. So happy to be back home and actually being able to ride my motorcycle because I can't take it with me. I don't have anywhere to put it. And that I don't trust anyone too. Like if I can't see it, it's just gonna bother me. Because there's so many thieves nowadays, you just can't trust anybody. Rode it through Townsend yesterday. It's still got the same coolant problem. The coolant in the reservoir is still disappearing slowly. And the Honda dealer has no idea where it's going. I don't have any idea where it's going. It's not burning it. And it's not in the oil, so no idea. I guess it's just evaporating out of the reservoir tank. That's my best guess. That's kind of the only thing that makes sense to me right now. Because that cap, the reservoir cap that's on it, doesn't really seal that well. But I could be completely wrong. I mean, I have no idea. People who make the bike have no idea. So, there's that. So basically all I have to do is check the coolant every time before I ride, which I do anyways. And if it's low, just add some. So it is really annoying because you have to take the side bearing off. The little plastic piece. It's not something you want to do with the new bike, you know. But there's basically nothing we can do about it. So that's the only downfall of this bike, the damn coolant problem. I have 11,358 miles on it. And that's the only problem I'm having. It's cold today too. Like the days that I went to the Dragon yesterday and like on the weekend, it was like 68, 70 degrees. And now it's 40 degrees again. Like, if you don't like the weather in East Tennessee, just wait about 15 minutes and it'll be completely different. We have like the most bipolar weather known to man. I'm actually on my way to get some coolant for my truck, the Toyota Tacoma, 2.7 liter inline 4. I actually just had to replace the valve cover gasket. Did that with a buddy of mine. Didn't record it because it's so tedious. I hate working on trucks and cars because you have to bend over the hood, bend over the grill. It's not fun. I do not want to be a car mechanic for my job. Anyways, replace the valve cover gasket and it's not leaking oil anymore. So we're good to go on that. Now I'm going to pick up some coolant just because the coolant in the reservoir is starting to drop a little bit. So I can top it off. Oh, and another thing, whenever I was at the Honda dealer, they were like, I kept giving them, I brought the bike twice for the coolant problem and it's still doing it. And they were like, well, the only thing we can think of is you must be doing something wrong. And I was like, that's fucking impossible. How am I doing something wrong? Please tell me what I'm doing wrong. Are you adding the coolant wrong? No. There's only one way to add coolant to the reservoir. Put it through the fucking cap and you fill it up to where it needs to be. There's 2 lines. You put it in between the lines and you're good to go. And the radiator was already full, so you can't add any to the radiator if it's fucking full. They're like, well, it must be you. You must be the problem. You must not be doing something right. You must not be riding it right or anything. I was like, oh, so if you're telling me that, based on that logic, my 600 shouldn't work right. It's coolant. I've never even had a problem with it. I've flushed the coolant system in the 600, put brand new coolant in it, runs fucking perfect. Never had a single problem out of it. The coolant level never drops. Stays right where it has been for the past year since I changed it. And there was nothing wrong with it before I changed it either. I just changed it because the coolant had been sitting in there for 8 years. So I definitely know what I'm doing. Like, that's bullshit. I even told him, I was like, I give you permission to like ride it home and then ride it to work. I was like, do that for a week and I guarantee you the coolant level will drop. They're like, no, we won't do that. We'll just, they left it in the shop and ran it for like all day, just sitting there idling. And not once did any go away or disappear or whatever. So I was like, okay, well then how come I ride it and it goes away, you know? And they just had no idea. So, it's whatever. Coolant disappears out of the reservoir, that's the final say in that. So if you ever do have a CBR500, make sure you constantly check the coolant level in the reservoir. Because what I think is just the cap. Maybe it's just the cap. Maybe it's evaporating out, getting hot, evaporating out of the cap. So that's really the only thing I can think of, because it's not leaking, or else you would see marks of it leaking. Alright, got me some coolant for 20 bucks. Can't beat that. Now the only problem is see if we can get the heck out of here. Heck, you want to know something crazy? That my Toyota, the valve cover gasket and the spark plug gasket, there's like a little gasket that goes around the spark plug holes. I don't know what gasket's called, but anyways, when it started leaking or whatever, when I took it out, those things were so hard and brittle. It's like the guy that owned it before me was using, I have no idea what kind of oil he was using, but it was terrible. Like, it wasn't even keeping the gasket, like, it wasn't even keeping it, you know, pliable where you could move it. It wasn't even doing a good job, so God knows what the other seals and stuff to use, but I use Castrol and STP oil treatment. That holds like 6.1 quarts. I do 5.5 quarts of Castrol and then a little 15-ounce bottle of STP. That keeps everything nice and good to go. That's what we use in airplanes. In the airplanes that we take apart that don't use STP, it's always the same as my truck. Like all the valves, or not the valves, all the gaskets and stuff are always dry rotted if you don't use STP and stuff. So I've seen it firsthand on airplanes, so that's what I use. For those people who are like, oh, but that's airplanes, they're different. No, they're not. They're still engines. All engines are basically the fucking same. Just depends on, there's different compression ratios, air cooled, liquid cooled, how big the engine is. It's basically the only difference. What kind of fuel it runs on. But they're all internally the same. You got your block, you got your crankshaft, you got your connecting rods, your pistons, your camshaft, your valves. They're all the fucking same. As far as what I'm talking about. Well, that'll be it for me, unless I go back out within the next couple days, but probably not. It's supposed to rain and snow the next couple days. So, I will see you all in May. Peace out. Thanks for watching.